The broadcast is live. I wanted to see a 3, 4. Oh, I wanted to see a countdown. What the fuck?
Well, countdown? We are live on 3 different platforms right now. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook, and we are live on Twitter. Paul, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, well, welcome to the Breakroom Super Bowl edition. It's been a long year. It's been a crazy year. But just so you guys know, if anybody doesn't know, the NFL did not cancel one game this year.
Not one.
So
I was gonna say that.
It has been a great run. I'm joined today by my partner and co-owner at Reisner_Steven, the General. Good.
Well, what's up, guys? Fucking Super Bowl Sunday. We made it here. Like Paul said, the NFL did not cancel a game. So cheers to them. And I have to say one thing. The media is all reporting this Andy Reid's son accident as like prayers to the Reids. Yeah. It's his third DUI. There were kids in the car. Yeah. He's not the victim of this situation. That's all. That's what I have to say on that. He's not the victim of this situation. Stop acting like he's the victim.
If you haven't learned after your second DUI, you're
you have an alcohol problem. To be honest with you, you have an alcohol problem if you're on your third DUI.
I don't think that's true. I think you just have a decision-making problem, man. Like, how can you, like, call a fucking cab, man? Like, you're an NFL coach. You can afford a cab.
Yeah, the teams, the NFL has a very expansive program for that. They have drivers, they have Ubers, they have teams on call. Like, it's easily phone call
at all.
Yep. But we're also joined by Harrison Brooks. He's part of the Frostbite podcast. Big Chiefs fan, big day for him. So tell people how you're doing, Harry.
I'm doing good. Again, got the White Claws out. I'm getting into the festivities a little bit early, and it's ready for a big Chiefs win tonight.
Yes, sir. And then we got our producer here, Davis. He also runs Cordova College Corner. You can catch that on Saturday mornings. Tell people where they can find you at, Davis.
Well, it's right there with my new banner that I've been working on today. So, just go check out my stuff at the CCC Show. I will be releasing a card. It will be coming later today. I know there's some late games, so hopefully there's enough left for me to pick.
Yep. So we're going to break down the Super Bowl for you, but we're going to start out with the NFL awards last night. So let's just start with the MVP of the league. Aaron Rodgers, that was an easy one for us. I think we all had Aaron Rodgers as the MVP this year. There's been some noise online about Patrick Mahomes not getting some votes. I'll let Harry talk about that a little bit, and then we'll get Steve's opinion, and then we'll move on to the next one.
Yeah, I mean, I came to terms with it was Aaron Rodgers' award this year. We're going to see Mahomes in it a lot over his career, and I mean, when he's averaging this year was basically his average so far with 4,700 yards and like 38 TDs. So he's going to be in the MVP award a lot. So I'm not too concerned about Aaron Rodgers taking this one. Aaron Rodgers is a little bit lucky though that it's a regular season award because he really choked away the NFC Championship game. So he's a bit lucky that doesn't get taken into account. But yeah, other than that, I mean, to all the Bills fans, no, Josh Allen did not deserve to be anywhere near that award. He was clearly probably third. So quit your whining. But yeah, I'm not as a Chiefs fan. I'm not too concerned about it. Mahomes will be there a lot, and yeah, Aaron Rodgers definitely deserved it this year.
Yeah, we'll go to Steve with the Bills opinion. So why don't you drop the Bills fans a little love letter here, Steve?
Well, Josh Allen played great this year. I'm just not going to say he didn't, but I mean, for MVP, no, he was not playing better than Aaron Rodgers this year. He was not playing better than Patrick Mahomes this year.
Or Deshaun Watson, honestly.
Or, yeah, maybe not even better than Deshaun Watson. And one thing, to be honest, as good as Josh Allen played, as much better as he got, he wasn't the other teams were constant. They didn't add any new weapons to the Packers, really. They didn't add any new weapons to the Chiefs. Well, they made a huge trade and got him Stephon Diggs. And like I think that impacts the voting stance a little bit in itself.
Yep. No, so let's go to another one that's not really too controversial. Kevin Stefanski, Cleveland Browns. He won the Coach of the Year award. I don't find it too controversial. The Cleveland Browns have been a sad sack franchise for 2 decades, maybe more. I mean, going back to the 80s. That was their first winning season since 07, first playoff experience since like 02. So, I was good with that. You guys have any thoughts about him?
I will say that there should have been like an honorable mention for Sean McDermott for the Bills. I mean, I don't think he deserved to win over Stefanski just because of the Browns' history, like you said. But
I think Brian Dable did a lot of that. To be honest, Sean McDermott's a good coach, man, but I think Brian Dable deserves more of the credit for how much better the Bills were this year than Sean McDermott does.
Yeah, I can see that.
I always find that this is a pretty weird award because it's like all it matters is just like a team that has been consistently bad is now good. So it's like, well, is it the players? Is it the coach? Is it it's hard to pin
that's
down.
Always
it's like,
bugged me because
Bill Belichick should have won Coach of the Year for how many years?
Yeah,
Andy Reid should be in the conversation.
If it's Coach of the Year, it's Bill Belichick and Andy Reid should have.
Right.
Yeah.
The actual 2 best coaches in the NFL. Like.
Yeah. So I do think that Kevin Stefanski deserved it this year, though. I mean, the like you said, the Browns have been shit for so long that now they're a good-looking team, and honestly, you know what? Again, fuck you, Bills fans, man. Your coach did not deserve this award, and in fact, the Bills are going to be better than you next year. So we'll see.
All right, and then we got one more that's not controversial in my opinion. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Chase Young. He brought a different spark to that team. I can listen to the Antoine Winfield Jr. Talk a little bit. I can listen to it a little bit, but at the end of the day, Chase Young was more impactful, made bigger plays, and really changed that kind of culture around there. Made that defensive line one of the best in the league. So I think that was an easy choice for me.
Yeah,
any thoughts there, guys?
I absolutely agree on that. It was Chase Young was the easy choice.
He changed kind of like the culture for the football team.
He absolutely did. It's because of Chase Young that all of a sudden at the end of the year they were one of the best defenses in the league. He was a game changer for that team.
And honestly, man, I love that guy, man. He's got so much charisma. His personality is just infectious. You can just see it in every interview he does. Like he's got so much energy, so much positivity. Yeah, he absolutely changed that defense, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch him play for the rest of his career.
Yeah, but Davis brought up, so that makes 4 straight Buckeyes as Defensive Rookie of the Year. So. They're turning him out in Columbus. Congratulations, Chase Young. You deserved it. Now let's get into some of these controversial ones. Let's start with the Offensive Rookie of the Year. They gave it to Justin Herbert. I'm just saying these are controversial because the guys that did end up winning it are deserving. But to me, Justin Jefferson should have won this award. But as we all know, the NFL is a quarterback.
Always a quarterback,
league.
Yep.
So Herbert had the best rookie year, and that's why he won it, in my opinion. But I'll go around here, you guys' thoughts on this one, and I'll finish it off there at the end.
I really wanted Justin Jefferson to win. I've liked him since he's gotten in the league. He's one of my favorite wide receivers to watch. But I understand why Herbert got it. So,
yeah, I also thought Justin Jefferson should have got it. Herbert had a great year, don't get me wrong, but I just think you have to compare them to how they are. Like Justin Jefferson had a top 5 receiver. He was one of the top 5 receivers in the league this year. Was Herbert a top 5 quarterback in the year or in the league this year? No. You know, he was probably top 10 though. You know, he had a great season, but Justin Jefferson literally did something that not many rookies ever do, which is finish top 5 as a top 5 wide receiver in the rookie season. I think that's more important and deserves more credit than, you know, just having a strong rookie season as a quarterback.
Yeah, I Justin Jefferson, I think, deserved it more. I mean, he should have been starting the whole season, but Justin Herbert didn't start the entire season.
Should have been Tyrod
Jefferson
Taylor.
did.
Thanks to a needle penetrating the lung.
Yeah, he was really only the starting quarterback because the Chargers apparently don't have a great medical staff. But yeah, but I'm not exactly mad that Justin Herbert won the award either because he did have a great season. The NFL, they vote for quarterbacks.
Yeah, and that's where I came down on it. I just don't know what some of these media guys, you know, I think it's just like a default setting in them that, oh, it must be the quarterback. The quarterback must have won. But really, what did he really win for the Chargers? Like they still blew fourth quarter leads. They still, you know, weren't really in the playoff race. So, you know, yeah, the numbers were great and all, but to me,
and
Justin Jefferson should have
for
got
Jefferson is you thought like that the Vikings were going to take a massive hit from losing Stephon Diggs in the receiving game, and his numbers were equal to Stephon. And the media like to keep bashing it in our heads that, you know, 4 times a game that, you know, his stats were almost equal to Stephon Diggs, and they really there wasn't a drop off for them in that sense. They still don't have a great quarterback, but no, it's a topic for another day.
So the one that's getting the most controversy, and I'm going to talk about this to start, and then you guys can give me your thoughts. You know, TJ Watt getting passed over by Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald wins his 3rd Defensive Player of the Year award. Steelers Twitter just went nuts last night with it. He got robbed, railroaded, blah blah blah. The NFL hates the Steelers. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to diminish what Aaron Donald has done. He's a problem. You have to game plan for him every week. You have to get 2 bodies on him every play. You know, when he wasn't at 100%, you could see what happened at at Green Bay. But to come out and say afterwards, some of these writers, that it wasn't all about the stats, when all I heard last year was it was all about the stats. That's why Gilmore got it over him last year. And then this year he goes out and beats him in every statistical category with 1 less game. I just don't want to hear that argument. If you just, to me, you're saying, well, if Aaron Donald didn't affect every play, well, TJ Watt affects every play too. You know, you're putting a lot of what ifs in there. These are statistical awards. We all know that. They're number awards, and TJ had the numbers this year. But I'm not going to diminish Aaron Donald by any sense of imagination. But when you're talking about Aaron Donald as a generational player, you're going to have to start talking about TJ Watt in that category too, because it's only him and Aaron Donald, you know, the last 2 years for this award, really. You know what I mean? Like they have the same numbers. You know what I mean? So you're going to have to start talking about TJ in that conversation as well. Congratulations, Aaron Donald, but I really thought this was TJ's year. I don't know if the league just has a Watt burnout effect too, because JJ's got 3 of them, but so eventually this guy's got to get some hardware. So those are my thoughts on it. Let's go around and hear your guys' thoughts.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, man. I really wanted TJ to get it this year. He seemed to have the type of year that would get it. Again, no discrediting Aaron Donald. He's obviously, you know, a top defensive player in the league, but I mean, we see it all the time in other leagues. And like, so for example, with LeBron, right? We talked about this before the show, but you know, there's a handful of examples of years where LeBron's stats are better than the guy who wins MVP, but the other guy wins MVP because they're just, you know, bored of giving it to LeBron, I guess, right? And I think that's kind of what we're seeing here too. And I'm sure we're gonna see it with Mahomes a few years in his career, but we're seeing that right now too, where it's like, well, yeah, TJ Watt is right there. Actually, I mean, he's so young in his career, so it's actually a strange example of this, but like, I don't know why, you'd think that they'd want to give it to someone like TJ Watt when Aaron Donald has his, and he's not far and away better than TJ Watt was this year. So you'd think maybe they'd throw a bone to TJ Watt this year, but it's it's one of those strange things that like you just can never really pin down what these voters are going to do, because like you said, like how can you go the narrative way when pretty much every statistical category has TJ Watt leading the league? So it's pretty strange to me that TJ Watt didn't get this one, but if it's for the next 5 years, a toss up between TJ Watt and Aaron Donald, I think that's probably, good enough for Steelers fans. I'm not sure, but just knowing that you have a guy that's right there, even if he doesn't get the accolades, that would be good enough for me as a fan. But yeah, I think he deserved it this year, but good on Darren.
Well, he dropped the Jordan, and I felt that, or I took that personally.
Yeah, I saw that
on his timeline. So hopefully that means a monster year is coming for him.
I mean, I'm sure you saw.
What's a monster year for TJ Watt?
Yeah. What more
20,
can he do?
20. He needs 20 sacks.
Yeah.
And they need to win that division.
I'm sure you saw his brother's post, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he had that ready.
Yeah.
Because he posted like 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, that was prepped.
Yeah.
Yeah, he already knew that it was coming.
Yeah. So where are you at, Davis? Where you come down on this?
Honestly, I think both of them deserved it. They gave it to the one who creates the more social appeal, if that makes sense. So like everyone thinks of defensive player of the year, they think Aaron Donald. They don't think TJ Watt. Which I mean, they could change that, but
if that was how they voted, then they would have given it to TJ Watt last year over Stephon Gilmore because nobody likes the Patriots.
Exactly.
So why vote differently 2 years in a row?
It changes every year.
Yeah, some years it's just straight stats, some years it's straight narrative,
That's
and
my
some
problem.
years it's a combination of both.
Yeah, so they just like every other year they're like, this is how I feel like voting this year.
Yeah, straight up. I honestly think these guys who are
They're
voting
like fucking children.
should have to defend their choices, and if they can't to a reasonable extent, they should lose their voting rights. Honestly, it's ridiculous.
The same like the fucking Hall of Fame voters.
Yeah.
Oh wait, they are the same.
Yeah. Which we're gonna get into that a little bit too. Like I know we didn't talk about it beforehand, but they announced the Hall of Fame class last night. Me and Steve and our good friend Ernest Silva into the Lab podcast. We're fanatics with this Hall of Fame. I mean, absolutely fanatics. I usually go every year. It's an hour from my house. It's a great experience. If you've never been to Canton, you should definitely go there if you're a football fan. It's a bucket list place. But they announced the Hall of Fame class last night. We had a couple of interesting picks, I'll say to say the least. Drew Pearson is the one that stands out for me. I honestly believe that Drew Pearson got in because of the game, because it's going to be Steelers, Cowboys. There's going to be 5 Steelers inducted next year between the two classes, and they needed a Cowboy. Drew Pearson's numbers do not jump off the charts. Steve, you can go over that a little bit more for everybody, but I like Drew Pearson. Don't get me wrong, but he was overshadowed even in his own era. So go ahead and run down through those numbers there.
So Drew Pearson, I have to pull the numbers back up here. He was a 3-time Pro Bowler. He was 3-time All-Pro. He's got that 1 Super Bowl ring. He had, let me pull it right up.
Like 7,800 yards.
Yeah, it was 7,822 yards, 48 touchdowns. I can't remember the amount of catches right now. It was 400 and something, I believe. I texted it to you, Paul. Hold on.
Yeah.
489 catches.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I don't know. He wasn't the best receiver of his generation. I know, I understand he was on the All-Decade team,
Yeah.
but I mean, 3 Pro Bowlers and 3 All-Pros in a 14-year career, 10-year career, 10 plus years. That's not that impressive to me.
No.
That's a short span, and 156 career games, 48 touchdowns. I understand it was a different era that you know there wasn't as many receiving touchdowns back then, obviously, but still, that's you're obviously not lighting up the scoreboard for them. So he got in because of this moment in the game with the Hail Mary. Got the Hail Mary ball. He got in because of the moment. So people tell me that I'm crazy, that I think Julian Edelman deserves a nod at the Hall of Fame someday. Well, if Drew Pearson just got in the Hall of Fame because of a moment, Julian Edelman's stats are the same as his now, with way more catches.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Julian Edelman's got all the moments.
Yeah.
And he's the second best playoff wide receiver of all time by the stats. So Julian Edelman is now a Hall of Famer because Drew Pearson's a Hall of Famer. That's what you just said to me. Julian Edelman is now a Hall of Famer, and you can't tell me he's not. As far as John Lynch getting into the Hall of Fame, John Lynch is a Hall of Famer in my book. John Lynch deserves a Hall of Fame. Every year, Rodney Harrison never makes it to the finalists. They've already put in Brian Dawkins and John Lynch. Rodney Harrison, they just won't vote for because they hold a grudge against the guy. So I'm going to say this every year until they actually put Rodney Harrison in the Hall of Fame and give him the respect he deserves. Right now, for one, they just put John Lynch in. Rodney Harrison has more sacks, more picks, more tackles, and more Super Bowl rings than John Lynch does. So right there, by the numbers, more impactful player than John Lynch. So Hall of Famer. There are only 2 players in the history of the NFL with over 30 sacks and over 30 picks in their career. Ray Lewis and Rodney Harrison. They have the same amount of rings, and they're both in. Ray went in the first ballot, and Rodney, you just won't vote for. You won't even make him a finalist. So, quit holding your grudge, because you have a grudge against the sports writers, and that's a disgrace, because that's not what your job is. Your job is to vote not for the guys that you like or didn't like, but for the people who deserve it.
Yeah, like these are journalists, right? Like the entire point of journalism is to be objective. But
they just can't.
Like you just don't like Rodney Harrison. That's the only reason he's in. I mean, Rodney Harrison played in 4 Super Bowls, and he's got plenty of moments. Like we always talk about the moments. Like you just put Drew Pearson in for. He's got plenty of moments, even when he was on the losing end of one of them.
Yep.
Yeah, just going back to the Drew Pearson one, that's one was weird for me. I didn't even know who he was when you brought him up, so I just Googled him.
I think they put him in because he was in a video. He cried last year, and the video went on social media. He cried that he didn't get inducted last year. So I think they did it because it would make social media happy.
I mean, yeah, he's currently sitting 113th all time in receiving yards. Guess who's 2 spots ahead of him? Travis Kelce, a tight end who has played 3 less years than he played in the league.
Yep.
And it's like, well, how is that? Like, we all know, I mean, Travis Kelce is going to be a Hall of Famer eventually too, but like,
but he's also still a tight end, like you said.
Tight end, and he's got 3 less years in the league, and he's already passed him. It's one of those things that's like, the more people you add to the Hall of Fame, the less like valuable that induction becomes. You had a ton of guys like Drew Pearson, and now it's like, oh, cool, I'm a Hall of Famer. Sweet, I'm 200th in the league in history of receiving yards or something like that. That's where we're heading right now. Some guy.
Yeah. Well, like that's what I mean as far as like the Julian Edelman thing goes. So why isn't Edelman a Hall of Famer if Drew Pearson is? I can think of a few guys over the years now, like Torrey Holt. Me and you talk about that a lot, Paul.
Yep.
Well, if Drew Pearson's a Hall of Famer, Torrey Holt is.
Yep.
And so is Isaac Bruce.
Yep.
Yeah, look at some of these names around just in the same general area as him. Des Bryant, Michael Crabtree, Keenan Allen. Like, these are good guys, but like TJ Husman Zadeh.
TJ,
Yeah.
I can't. That's a tough one. But like, these are all guys that are within a few hundred yards of him.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of these guys are going to end up in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, so are they putting him in because
maybe.
he was Staubach's guy, right? So are they putting him in because he was Staubach's guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now
and the game is going to be Pittsburgh versus Dallas. The Hall of Fame game is going to be Pittsburgh versus Dallas.
Yep. But now you're putting him in because he was the quarterback's guy.
Yep.
So Jordy Nelson was Aaron Rodgers' guy for a while.
Yeah.
So is Jordy Nelson now a Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
Like,
he is about 30 spots higher on the all-time receiving list than Drew Pearson. So
and he's got a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jordy Nelson's a Hall of Famer now.
Plaxico Burress, Rob Gronkowski, Jimmy Graham. They're all actually Jimmy Graham and Rob Gronkowski are obviously Hall of Famers, but those are all guys that are about 300 yards more in their career than Drew Pearson.
And again, Gronk was
worth that.
Gronk was a tight end, obviously, that was injured fucking every year of his career.
Yeah, he battled some injuries.
But there's another guy, too, that I want to talk about real quick before we hop into the game, and that's Bill Nunn. If you guys don't know who Bill Nunn is, he changed how scouting was done in the NFL. There is no 70 Steelers without him. He went into the historically black colleges, and he pulled out 5 Hall of Famers in the 70s. He's a huge reason why the Steelers of the 70s are the way they are. I'm not going to go into all of it, but just Google Bill Nunn. Great guy, huge part of the Steelers organization for a long time. And there would be no 70 Steelers dynasty without him. The other 3 that really got in, I mean, Peyton, absolutely. Peyton is, Peyton. Calvin Johnson, I've seen an interesting thing today with him. So he's only the 3rd guy to ever be under 35 and get inducted. And it's with Jim Brown and somebody else. I don't know. They were both super Hall of Famers, so he deserves to be in that class. And then Charles Woodson. Charles Woodson did it fantastic for a long time. So he definitely 100% deserved to be in there.
Absolutely.
Tom Flores. Congratulations to him. I really wasn't alive for when he was a good coach, so I don't really want to speak on that. Alan Faneca, he waited a long time. I'm glad he got in. I don't really know where that leaves Tony Baselli, though. I really thought they might put the Jag in, just to, kind of get that started. But congratulations to Alan Faneca. He deserved it as well. But let's hop into what everybody's here for today, the game. First Super Bowl hosted by the home team. It sucks this COVID year, and they can't have a true home field advantage. There's going to be a bunch of first responders there, which is great for them. Glad the NFL did something like that for them. That's good PR for them. And honestly, after the year we've had, they deserve to be there. So I'm glad for that they get to watch the game today. Let's just go through. We'll just break it down by each one. So best offense. I mean, I'm going to go with the Chiefs. The Bucks have a little bit more well-rounded offense, I'd say. You'd say, with the running game a little bit, but the Chiefs still have just the more weapons. What do you think, Steve?
It's the Chiefs. The Bucks, like I said, more well-rounded, and everyone you can point to the list of names, but the fact of the matter is the Chiefs are more explosive. They just are. They have a better offensive play caller. That's better offensive mind back there than Bruce Arians. I saw someone saying the other day that Bruce Arians is the quarterback whisperer, and people call him that. Well, anyone who calls him that, you're an idiot, because Andy Reid is the quarterback whisperer.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I don't even know if the Bucks have a more well-rounded offense. they obviously rely on the run game a lot more, but I would take Le'Veon Bell, Clyde Edwards-Helaire over Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones any day of the week.
Well, see, the
I just
reason that I'd say well-rounded is Kansas City's big issue to me all year was that they don't seem like they could just line up and get a yard with the running game. Like that, I mean, when you see them in the red zone, they call those a little. They're cool when they work, but all little fancy designs for plays. But sometimes, I mean, in football, you just got to be able to line up and push forward for a yard. And I see the Bucs do that more often. That's why I'd call them more well-rounded.
Yeah, no, and I definitely get that and agree with that point. But the Bucs definitely they use the running game more like in the natural or the more classic way of using the running game.
Yep.
Traditional. That was the word I was losing there. But I think the Chiefs they like to kind of run through the air. Like they do a lot of screens and dumps and stuff like that to get the running backs involved, which I think is just as effective as being able to run for 3 yards.
So Mahomes throws a lot of checkdowns, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, he likes to get
his guys. Don't fall for it.
He likes to get his guys involved all over the field. That's what I'll say to that.
Yeah,
I think the Chiefs' offense is. I mean, we're looking at one of the best offenses maybe ever. So I don't think this one's even really that close.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. The Chiefs have the better offense, the better weapons, the better quarterback as of right now. Like not all time, but like right now, Mahomes is a better quarterback than Brady. So, I just had to make that clear for you.
I mean, Brady's 43.
Yeah.
If the 24-year-old isn't better than if you're the 24-year-old generational quarterback isn't better than the 43-year-old, you got a real problem with your 24-year-old generational quarterback.
Yeah.
He just didn't want to piss you off, Steve.
Oh, that's fine.
Let's hop over to defense. I personally think the Bucs have a better defense. At least on the front end, the front seven are better. It comes down to the linebackers for me. Devin White, Levante David are just beasts. They have to be. I would say both of them have to have 10 tackles today for the Bucs. If you're going to say the Bucs are going to win this game, I would say they both have to have over 10 tackles. They have to keep Mahomes in the pocket. They have to at least negate that screen game, and they have to at least try to contain Kelsey some way. I mean, just they have to have a body around him at all times. So it's going to be on them too to really win this game. I know a lot of people talk about the front four, but to me, it's got to be those two guys. They got to have monster games today. So, Davis, what do you think?
Oh, the Bucs have the better defense. Even though the Chiefs have the better player in Tyrann Mathieu. I think he's the best defensive player in this game. I mean, that front line, you have Sue, you have Jason Pierre-Paul. Who else is on that front line?
Vita Vea and Shaq Barrett.
Shaq Barrett. I mean, those were all almost all pro. Like they've been all pro at least once in their career, I'm pretty sure. And I mean, that you can't really beat that.
I don't think Vita Vea has yet, but yeah, I see your point.
He should, in my opinion. And then you got Devin White as a linebacker, along with Paul's boy,
Levante David.
Levante David's a beast.
And then you got one of the best defensive rookies in Antoine Winfield in the backfield. I mean, you just look at that compared to the Chiefs defense. It's not really close.
I'd like to think this one's a little bit closer than a lot of I still think that Bucs have the edge in defense, but I like to think it's a little closer than people are giving the Chiefs credit for. I mean, they have one of the best secondaries in the league. Like they have two guys that were both graded out top 10 in their positions. Frank Clark and Chris Jones they're very good pass rushers. The edge comes down
Chris Jones is a beast.
Yeah.
Chris Jones is a beast.
And the edge comes down to the linebacker core, like you said, Paul. Like that's where they get the edge. But the way I look at it, like I said about the Chiefs and how they use the running backs, the Bucs linebackers, their job is going to be containment of Mahomes. Really, when he's rolling out, they're not going to get the opportunity to shut down, running backs like they have in the past, like Christian McCaffrey and stuff like that. When they go in there, the Bucs shut them down all the time. Like, they have such a good run defense, but they don't really have the opportunity to show off that run defense in this game. So, but I think they're going to get a lot of pressure on Mahomes, especially with Eric Fisher out. So I do give the Bucs the edge on defense. I think they're going to have a better game than the Chiefs defense, but I think it's actually closer than a lot of people are giving the Chiefs credit for.
I can see that for sure. Steve?
Yeah, I think the Bucks have a better defense for all the reasons you guys said. It's the linebackers, the D line are better. Chiefs secondary is better than the Bucks secondary, but not by like an insane amount.
Yeah.
So the edge is just to the Bucks. I will add. I hate adding this. The Chiefs defensive coordinator, Steve Spagnuolo, and Tom Brady has lost 2 Super Bowls to a Steve Spagnuolo defense.
Yes, he has.
I'm having Vietnam flashbacks, and you all have to you got to bear with me for a second here.
That's funny.
Yep. But let's hop over to special teams. I struggled with this one, honestly, when we got it on ITL the other day. But at the end of the day, I think that Mecole Hardman, being a return man, gives the Chiefs the edge. But Butker scares the fuck out of me, with his jacking around with the fucking extra points. And, I know he's good, from 50 Harrison. I know he's good from out there or whatever. But, I mean, when you're talking about this game where I think it's going to come down to, could possibly come down to a field goal, honestly. I don't know.
And that's why I took the Doink special.
Yep. Well, we'll get into that with our props. But, for me, it's the Chiefs. So what do you think, Harrison? Who you got?
Yeah, like you said, it's hard to really pin down special teams. But, yeah, I think Mecole Hardman is the best playmaker on both sides of the special teams in this game. And I do think Butker is overall better kicker than Suckup too. So, and I don't, if I might be remembering, a terrible name. But I may be remembering this incorrectly. But
I will cry into my 6 rings, Jet.
I don't think Butker missed a extra point or a field goal in their last. He missed a couple against the Browns, but I don't think he missed any against the Bills. So maybe he's figured out his problems, and we won't see a missed extra point. But if he's keeping it to just missed extra points, I can live with it. Once he starts missing field goals for those extra 2 points, that's when I get a little dicey. But yeah, I'd give the edge to the Chiefs in this one.
Yeah, even though Mecole Hardman muffed that punt against the Bills, I still have the Chiefs as the better special teams because I think he's better than whoever the Bucs have back there. Also, I usually think about the punt, the punter who has the better punter. And I think the Chiefs do as well. So the Chiefs have the better teams.
I don't think we're even going to see the punter more than
I know. Yeah.
You're not seeing a lot of punts in this game.
That's why I don't know his name because the Chiefs don't really punt. So
I don't know his name either. The only punter's name I know is Johnny Hecker because he's got the greatest name.
Dude, if the Bucs make the force the Chiefs to punt, they're gonna be like, "Is that guy here? He got on the flight, right?"
Well, Harrison, the best punter is Tress Way. That's the best name, Tress Way.
I like Hecker, man. I like Hecker. That last name, Johnny Hecker. I fucking love it.
Johnny Hecker. I just wish his last name was Heckler and not Hecker.
But who you got, Steve, in the special teams?
I gotta give the Chiefs. It's all we're all just kind of on the same wavelength here.
Yeah. All right.
We got a bunch of guys that just agree with each other, so we got no controversy on this show whatsoever.
I know.
We gotta have Kenny on.
Yeah, but we are going to get into a little disagreement here coming up. So these, we're going to give you our bets, the prop bets we like, the game lines we like, and it's brought to you by one of our sponsors, Thrive Fantasy. Use code BCMG. They'll match it up to $50. It's the last football game of the year. You have none to lose. They're gonna bankroll half your bets today. Just sign up with them. Use code BCMG, and they'll match up to $50. We all got to have a little something on the game. I mean, it's Super Bowl Sunday. So check them out, thrivefantasy.com. Use code BCMG, get matched up to $50. Let's just start right with the let's start with our props first, okay? So my prop is we just got done talking about it, and Harrison Bucker, he just likes to fucking dick around. He will hit the upright or the crossbar today. I don't have any doubt about it. You're getting plus 375 on it, and that's the prop I like today. I feel like the pressure is going to get to somebody. We could also have a wet football too. Might be some rain before the game, so you never know what could happen there. But somebody's hitting the upright or crossbar today. I can just feel it. Davis, what's yours?
Mine actually makes a lot of sense, but it'll probably not hit after I say that. But it's first scoring play to be a Bucks touchdown. We saw it in the conference championship. The Chiefs have struggles getting going, and the Bucks scored on their first possession. So I think that's a no-brainer right there. It's at plus 200. So the first scoring play is a Bucks touchdown.
I like that one too because I feel as though the Chiefs actually enjoy playing from behind. So I would love the Bucks to get out to an early lead.
That's not good.
You've seen it. You've seen it the last 2 years.
Hey man, how many games does it come down to?
They have
Chiefs
been down
have to come back
in every game.
Oh no, I mean they come back a lot, but yeah, you don't want your team to like playing from behind. But
they love it, man. There's something about them. They just they look calmer out there when they're down like 7 to 9 points, 7 to 10 points. But as for my bet, I wanted to do this one, but it couldn't fit in the banner at the bottom. I wanted to do a crazy plus 2,000 parlay of Tyreek Hill for 94 yards and 2 touchdowns, Patrick Mahomes for 333 pass yards, Tom Brady for an interception, and Shaq Barrett for 4 tackles plus assists. But yeah, again, it didn't fit in the banner, so I'm just going to take one piece out of that and go with the Tom Brady's going to throw an interception, and it's going to be to Tyrann Mathieu for plus 400.
Attaboy. What do you got, Steve?
I got Gronk and Tyreek Hill both to score at plus 420. Mm-hmm. And I also, it didn't fit in the banner, but I had Gronk and Leonard Fournette to score. And I forget what the plus was on that.
Yep. Now, did you pick Gronk and Tyreek to score a touchdown just because it said plus 420? Is that why you picked it?
That is a major reason why I picked it. I was stoned as a motherfucker and saw that, and I was like, "Yep, it's a sign from above." 420, blaze it up.
All right, so then we got an interesting one here because I've had a couple of debates with guys I talk bets over with, guys on these shows too, the BCMG guys. The total over or under 56. I want to hear what you guys have to say, and then I'll give you my thoughts on it. So, go ahead, Steve. What do you think? Over under 56.
I want to, but me and you already talked about this before. It's the Super Bowls start slower because they feel it out. Because you're in the Super Bowl now. You're more conservative to start. The long halftime slows you down and ruins my night. So I don't want to hit the. I want to hit the over, but I'm not betting on the over.
Right.
And I'm also not betting on the under because life's too short to bet unders.
Right. Right.
So you're abstaining like Will.
Yes, I am abstaining.
What is your lean? You're gonna lean under then?
I'm gonna lean under. I'm not putting money on an under because I'm a human.
What do you got, Harrison?
I'm going over. I think the Chiefs are going to hit 30 points, and I think they're going to, in the low 30s, I think. And I think the Bucks are going to be about 10 points behind that by the end of the game, but I think that'll be enough to put us over 56.
What do you got, Davis?
So I've been thinking about it. I'm thinking the under because of the defense and the Eric Fisher injury. But I'm going to go with the over just so I don't feel like an idiot when this hits an over and you're just like, oh, of course it went over because it's going to go over.
Yeah. Well, that's why I bet on enough shit that I won't feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. I mean, that's the boat I'm in, Davis, is my gut feeling is this goes under. I feel like this is a 27-24 game. Winner to be determined. I just feel like that the Bucks are going to get enough pressure to where, they can hold them to field goals instead of touchdowns. And I don't know. The Super Bowl is just always there's always a quarter in the Super Bowl where nothing happens. Like whether it's either usually the first or the third where absolutely nothing happens, and then the second and the fourth just pop off. So, but with these two teams, that's what worries me is that they could seriously put 30 up in a quarter. It wouldn't surprise me to see a 17-14 second or third quarter. I mean, it really wouldn't. So that's why I'm just not going to do it. I mean, I would lean under, but I just can't. You just can't put money on the under with, these two quarterbacks and these two offenses. I mean, we all don't think the punters are going to be involved. So if the punters aren't going to be involved, then that leaves us with at least points on the board, in 10 possessions. Shout
out Ernest into the lab pod. He had Harrison Butker winning Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, apparently.
Crazy odds. I don't remember what they were.
Plus 5,000.
Yes, plus 5,000.
Plus 5,000 for Harrison Butker to win the MVP, which I feel like the Bucks are gonna do what the Chiefs do to other teams. They're just gonna let them go up and down the field to the 20. Then they're gonna turn the heat up and try to keep them out of the end zone. And I can see both defenses doing that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens. The Chiefs' red zone offense scares the shit out of me too. Like if they can't get over top against the Bucks, like they struggle. It's struggle city inside that 20 for them to come up with plays to get in the end zone. But we'll see. I mean, in that first meeting, they had 3 red zone trips. They had 2 field goals and a pick. So if you pull that today, it's going to be a way different game. So let's get to it. Game picks. We'll start with Harrison. So it's at -3 right now. Little juice on the -115 on the Chiefs. But -3 is the line. Who you got?
Yeah, I got to go with my boys. Chiefs to cover. I think they're going to win by about 10 in this game. Eric, we talked about him earlier. Eric Fisher being out is huge, but the one thing that is in the Chiefs' advantage in that scenario is the Bucs still aren't going to be able to bring the blitz too often because Mahomes torches the blitz. I still think they're going to get a lot of pressure on him with their front four. But as soon as they start bringing extra guys in to rush, I think things can go bad for them. So I think they're going to have to keep their linebackers back and playing the containment game. And I think that's going to give the Chiefs offensive line just enough of advantage to not really affect them too much. And so I think that's what it's going to come down to. And I think the Chiefs are going to win by about 10.
Steve?
I'm taking the Bucs to win. That Eric Fisher being out is just going to be an issue with that Chiefs front four. They're not going to blitz Mahomes, but Vita Vea and Jason Pierre-Paul and Ndamukong Suh are enough to get after you.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And I just think they're going to do it. I don't know. I just have that feeling that linebacker core is going to hold tight. That D line's going to hold tight, and Brady's going to do what's needed because he's been here before. No, and Nick Wright has told us that Patrick Mahomes actually has more Super Bowl experience than Nick Wright. That is not true.
Than Tom Brady.
Yeah. Then Tom Brady. Yeah, Nick Wright says Patrick Mahomes has the most Super Bowl experience than any player in this game.
His reasoning was the worst. He said that just because Mahomes was in the Super Bowl last year means he has more experience than Brady. So.
With the same team is what his point actually was.
Brady was in the.
He never actually said Super Bowl. He's with the same team last year. Brady has a whole new team. I get his point. I wouldn't make it myself, but I do get his argument for that one.
Where are you
Yeah, but
heading, Davis?
it's not a smart enough point that you're making yourself, dude.
Oh yeah, definitely. I wouldn't put myself out on the line with that one, but I'm not going to bash him for it because it does. There is parts of it that do make sense.
You could just say the team has more experience. Then don't say that Mahomes has more experience.
Yeah,
Say that the Chiefs themselves have more experience than this Bucks roster because this Chiefs roster was just there before. Don't say, "Oh, he's got more experience in the Super Bowl than Tom Brady, who's been to 9." Duh.
Yeah, that's a fair compromise.
Who you got, Davis?
I got the Chiefs. I think the Bucks just really cannot stop Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelce because if they try and stop Hill, it's going to be a 10-yard slant to Kelce, and if they try to shut down Kelce, it's going to be a 60-yard touchdown to Hill. So I think the Chiefs are just too much for the Bucks defense, even though I think it's really good defense. But we'll see what Todd Bowles schemes up for this defense for the Bucks to try and stop Mahomes. But I think the Chiefs are too much, and I have the Chiefs covering as well.
I was just thinking about this today, where it's like, so we all know the Chiefs have been the best team this year, obviously, like that's not a debate. But then when they were playing the Browns, I saw a lot on Twitter. But you know what? I think I have that feeling that the Browns are going to win this game. I think the Browns are going to win. And then they were playing the Bills, and of course we know all about the hype that got put on the Bills there, and everyone's talking about the Bills are going to win this game. The only dicey moment was when Patrick Mahomes got hurt in the Browns game. Really, that was the only time it seemed like it might go the other way. So that's why I'm leaning the Chiefs so much. Is just because, like, yeah, we say this every time they play any game. We're like, oh, you know what? I got this feeling that these guys are gonna. I'm taking the best team, man, all year.
Yep, I did ask our viewers to say who's winning the Super Bowl. We had a couple responses. We got Kenny taking the Chiefs. No surprise there. He takes the opposite of what Steve takes, and then Jet took the Chiefs.
No, that's what Dre does
for his. Well, no, I think Kenny does it too.
Yeah, seems like it.
Kenny's a smart person.
You probably do that yourself, Davis.
Steve, that's why he's Pick'em champion, is because he picked opposite of you. So, but yeah, if anyone else wants to tell us who you got in the Super Bowl, just comment below and we'll put it up there.
Yeah. So for me, my head says that if this game is just play out normal, like no turnovers, no nothing, the Chiefs are 10 points better than the Bucks. It really does. Like there's nothing on Tampa Bay that to me would scare the Bucks. But I'm a football coach. I'm a film rat, and I have a problem with the Chiefs' red zone offense. I've had a problem with it all year, and I've had a problem with the next man up, his quick release, blah, blah, blah. I get all that. But this is the Super Bowl. This is a completely different animal. When you get out there and the bright lights are on you and all of a sudden Shaq Barrett gets around you and strip sacks Mahomes or something, that changes the whole thing. You start getting in a quicksand and you start taking deeper drops and shit starts happening. And I took the Bucks on ITL, and that's where I'm going to stick. I don't know if they can win this game, honestly, but if it gets to the fourth quarter and it's a tie game, or it's the Bucks are winning, or the Chiefs are up by a score, it's really anything can happen in that game. That's how the Super Bowl is. So I'm going to stick with the Bucks +3. I will be rooting for the Chiefs because I do like when we have one of our guys team in it. We kind of pull for him. So, I'm definitely pulling for Harrison today. It's always nice to get a championship, but the coach and me
absolutely not pulling for you today.
But
it's all right. I love it. I feed off of that.
He's pulling.
But the coach and me sees a path that the Bucks could change this game. The Bucks are going to have to win the turnover. They're going to have to win the turnover battle, and those linebackers are going to have a monster game. And that's the only way they can win this game. So there's our split. We're split 2-2 on the game. And today was brought to you by Living My Best Cigar Life. Check out their website, livingmybestcigarlife.com. use My Best Cigar Life in all caps, and you get $10 off your first purchase. So there's our picks for today. Everybody enjoy it. It's the last game of the year. I'm gonna let my guys sign off, and then we'll get you out of here. Davis, go ahead, tell people where they can find you, what's going on, and we'll get going.
Yeah, you guys can go find me at ddog_1123 on Twitter. You could also go find my show at the CCC show on Twitter as well. We went live yesterday. A lot of stuff is happening in college basketball. Just now, Iowa got upset at Indiana. I called that yesterday.
Yeah, you did.
But I'm really hoping that that March comes soon enough so that we don't have to go through these dog days after today, just betting on basketball and hockey, or in Kenny's way, table tennis. But
Yep.
you never know. So
Harrison, go ahead. Tell them where they can find you at.
Yeah, you could check me out at Brooksy34, capital B on Brooksy. Also, you might as well throw a follow to at Frostbite Pod. That's my co-host Jeff Folk runs that one, and then come listen to us at Frostbite Sports Podcast, where we got a new direction. We're going to be bringing you some spicy hot takes every week or so, or every couple weeks. So listen to that, and yeah, follow me at Brooksy34. And go Chiefs.
Good luck today, Harrison. We'll be rooting for you, buddy. Steve, go ahead. Sign off. Tell them where to find you at, buddy.
You can find me at @Rasner_Steven on Twitter. It is still the only form of social media that a young man such as myself can seem to manage.
A young
and Harry, I'm just to once again reiterate, I am not rooting for you today. I will never root for the Chiefs.
I would feel worse if you did root for me, Steve.
All right. Well,
I don't know how to respond to that.
You can find me at Steel Curtain PH on Twitter. Be dropping another Puckleheads here soon, right after the Super Bowl, with my brother at Hearts on Hockey. We got a lot of stuff happening over Blue Collar right now. You still got 2 days to sign up for at How'd You Meet podcast, Valentine's Day giveaway, guys. Blue Collar wants to do it for you. We're giving away two $60 gift packages for Valentine's Day. Make it special for your significant other. And it's on us. So definitely go there, get signed up to there at How'd You Meet podcast, and they'll get you all squared away. We have a huge talent show going on too. All you TikTok people out there, all you video guys, any kind of talent, animal, person, whatever you got, check out our boy at Lath on tour. Will's giving away a $100 gift card, $50 gift card, $25 gift card to the winners, and $15 just for frigging hitting subscribe and looking into a camera for 30 seconds. So you can't really miss that. And then keep an eye out for our big UFC 259 giveaway with Boomtown Podcast at Andrew Kahn. Give him a follow. So, don't miss out on that as well. You can just check out our website. We just give
shit away like fucking crazy. So
yeah, it's like
there's
I'm like
no
Oprah.
reason not to follow us at this point.
Yeah,
we're just handing you shit.
Yeah, we're like Oprah now. You get a gift card, you get a gift card, you get a gift card. We're giving it out to the internet. So definitely follow at Blue Collar MG on Twitter, at Blue Collar Media. BlueCollarMG.com is the website, and you can catch us on Facebook at Blue Collar MG. So just keep an eye out. Everybody enjoy yourselves today. Be safe. Be careful. Please don't drink and drive after the game. Just call a buddy, call a friend, stay at somebody's house. Be safe out there, and we'll catch you next week.
Don't call Andy Reid's son.
Yeah.